Happy New Year and welcome back to New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know with all things events and entertainment in New Mexico. I'm Teresa Robinson, and on this month's episode, we will be discussing topics from our January issue as we get ready for another year at Sundance. On this month's episode, we have Clara Byom with the award-winning band Dust City Opera to talk about their upcoming event, Sadness, Madness, and Mayhem. Ty and Libado Loca of Elevated Roller Derby talk about the power of the sport, and author Sonja Dewing talks about her ThrillHers anthology. So, let's get started. Award-winning band Dust City Opera continues to make a name for themselves. Tonight, we talk with band member Clara Byom about their upcoming event, Sadness, Madness, and Mayhem, and their plans for 2024. Clara, thank you for joining us tonight to talk more about the event that your band, Dust City Opera, is handling. But first, I have got to ask, congratulations on your award win. You won the New Mexico Entertainment Award. How does it feel?
Thank you. It's amazing. We're so grateful to be recognized among so many incredible artists in New Mexico. We had an amazing year, and the culmination of it being with this award from New Mexico Entertainment just was the icing on the cake. It was a great year. We signed a record with a record label and received an award also from the New Mexico Music Awards. So it was a big year.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this event. So Sadness, Madness, and Mayhem.
Yes.
So what is it all about?
Yeah, so this is going to be our first, hopefully annual, folk formal. So it's like a ball, but with themes of circus and mayhem and kind of like general Halloween vibes, but in the cold of January. And so there's going to be so much happening. There's going to be carnival games. There's going to be circus performers, obviously live music. There's going to be drinks. It's an all ages event, but it might be a little scary for the young ones, but definitely a great one to bring your preteens and teens out to. And we're really excited. Everyone is really encouraged to wear costumes. So Sydney and Paul from the band are super into costumes, and I think I'm going to sew my own, so it's going to be really fun. So get all of those old Halloween costumes out that you've only worn once, because it happens once a year, and then you always want a new one the next year. Get it back out and use it again.
So this is really their way of extending Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much.
With music.
Yes.
That's an awesome idea. And where is it taking place?
Yeah, so we have incredible local partners for this project. So it's going to be at Fusion 708. Mm-hmm. And up on First Street, and we're partnering with AMP Concerts, one of our favorite local presenters. They're amazing, and so it's with AMP Concerts, and we're collaborating with other local groups like Conservation Carnival and the Giovanni String Quartet, so among others. So it's going to be really great.
Okay, I know I joked that we extended it to past Halloween, but really, where did the concept for this event come from?
Well, so the themes around the songs that Paul writes tend to be kind of eerie. Many have death in some form or another. Many of them have humor, near death and sadness. Yeah. And there's also on our last album a lot of like otherworldly components. Alien Summer, plants all come to life, and so it just kind of fits our whole general vibe. And so Sydney and I were sitting in a hotel. We went to a conference in New York, and we were sitting in a hotel dreaming up our next ideal project, with the band. Yeah. And this is what came out of it. And so we've been planning it for a whole year. And so it's going to be a really great night.
Well, it sounds like a great event to have. So we know this event is happening. What is coming up performance-wise for the band?
Yeah. Oh, I should say the date for that one is January 27th.
That would be important to know.
Yes. Yeah, and you can get tickets at dustcityopera.com. So AMP Concert, amazing. Little sneak peek before that. Ooh. So Paul and I are going to do a duo show at the library. It's free. I believe that's January 18th. And then the rest of the band is going to do an unplugged set at another library just that week before the event. So we're really focused on the big events, getting all ready for that, but you can get sneak peeks just before that. So you can learn about that at AMP Concerts or our website.
Wonderful. Well, Clara, thank you again for coming out tonight, and we're looking forward to this event. And what else does Study Opera has coming in 2024?
Yeah, 2024, we are doing a big tour, especially right after we release our EP. Yeah, so in early 2024, February, we should have our first single out from the EP, and the album should drop in March on Rexius Records. And then starting in April, we kick off a huge tour. We're going to start in Colorado, go back to my home state of Wisconsin, visit my small hometown, which I'm really excited about. And then we're going to work our way back down through Chicago and then come back through Texas. So it's going to be like probably 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure how long exactly of touring with the whole crew.
My goodness. Yep, you got a lot coming up. We're looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again for coming out. And yeah, we're going to keep an eye on you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be back. Elevated Roller Derby is a nonprofit amateur sports organization dedicated to athleticism, empowerment, and sportsmanship. Tonight, they talk about their commitment to teaching and growing the sport and providing leadership development opportunities within the community. Thank you for coming on tonight's show to talk more about Elevated. I want to start by learning more about how it was formed and what inspired you to take part, because honestly, the idea of strapping skates on, period, one thing. But now you bouncing off it. Roller derby is not for the weak, let's just say. So why? Why this?
For me, it was all spite, actually.
Good reason.
It's really a good way to work out the feelings.
Yeah.
I used to call it healthy self-harm.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up violently unathletic, and I thought that I have been taught to be really small a lot of my life, and this is a space where you get to be really, really big, and you get to, like Ty said, lash out some of the hard feelings that you have and have a safe container to just express some really big emotion.
Well, being that you are working with other people that are probably feeling the same way, how is the camaraderie of the team when, you may be working out some issues?
It's really excellent. It really is. It's the most supportive community I've been a part of. And everyone understands, we're a very progressive community. So it's very accepting and understanding, and people we do a lot of communication.
I would expect. So how did the derby begin? What's the history?
So roller derby has been around for a really long time. You might have seen the bank track skaters in the 70s and stuff. Elevated roller derby started in 2005 or 2004? 2005.
That's why they were.
Yeah, Elevated roller derby started in 2005, and yeah, we've been going ever since. We're the 46th out of 89 we're ranking for the whole west side of the continent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have coming up that we should be looking forward to?
Well, we have an opportunity for some of the more rookie skaters like myself to gather in Los Alamos at higher altitude because we need more of a challenge.
Yep.
And it's where some of the OGs that we just kind of look at starry-eyed and are afraid to talk to on the track get to like sit down with us and teach us some of the basics of skating. Like they teach us like skate maintenance, they teach us the rules that can fly by, because there's like 80 something pages in our rule book. It's like a really, I think some of our history we missed too is like the sort of reiteration of it in Texas was just like drunk punks in parking garages.
Yep.
But now it's elevated to like a really hyper professional sport of like extreme athleticism. And so it's a lot to think about mentally all the time, and like obviously a huge physical challenge too. So this weekend will have a lot of explanation and a lot of teaching around some of those rules and how to skate properly so that us rookies aren't like falling into people and destroying knees and backs.
So that'll be at the end of the month. Every Monday we have our Fundamental Mondays. So like that's where we teach new people how to skate. When I started on Mondays, I was crawling on my hands and my knees. So we'll teach you everything.
So I was wondering, I mean, do you have people that actually go in there? I mean, I couldn't imagine, but that may have not even skated before, but wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. See, not for the weak. Not for the weak.
And another really beautiful thing is a lot of people, it's not like starting at 15 when you're all like easy to feel and like bubble boned. It's like a lot of older people who are like really reclaiming their bodies and their strengths, and like there's kind of high stakes when we fall, but we're doing it.
So I have to ask, being that, what is your skater name?
My skater name is Kushinta.
Yes. And yours is Libado.
Libado Loca.
So where do you come up with it? Where's the inspiration behind your names? I mean,
I just try to find something fun and vulgar that's like
that makes people go,
I think, to be honest, like roller derby kind of reminds me of like reclaiming a healthy sexuality too, and so they seemed like really intertwined to me, and it seemed like, again, like a safe space to release, and like Libado Loca matches that as well.
So what would you tell people who are watching right now that are like, I might be interested, but I'm not sure? What would you tell them to kind of give them that decision to try it?
I mean, super try it. If you're nervous about the physical part, we also have skating refs. We also have off skates officials. So there's all sorts of stuff for all sorts of people to do.
Awesome. So where can people learn more about your group?
You can just find us at elevatedrollerderby.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Elevated Roller Derby.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on tonight and tell us about the group and what's coming up, and we look forward to seeing more.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be back. Sonja Dewing is a multi-award-winning author, creative writer, and book writing coach. Recently nominated for a New Mexico Entertainment Top Author Award, she is also an award-winning publisher and founder of the Women's Thriller Writers Association. Tonight, she talks about her new ThrillHers anthology and a new tool for writers.
Thank you for coming on the show. This is so great to have you on here.
I know,
Our
absolutely.
designated writer for the magazine. So you've had a busy 2023. So let's start there. Let's do some coverage. What's been up?
Okay. Well, I was up for the New Mexico Entertainment Award, right? And I lost to George R. R. Martin, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? I'm okay with that.
But good to know. I mean, since he hasn't really written anything, you have a good chance to qualify for it.
All right. Well, so in October, I published ThrillHers, which is an anthology of stories of strong women in isolated locations. And the whole anthology idea came from my association, which is the Women's Thriller Writers Association. And the group, we just started talking about things we could do together. And we love this idea of stories of women in isolated locations who are strong and get through terrible things to come out, with happy stories at the end. Yeah.
So how many authors are involved? I mean, you wrote it's an anthology. So is it a collection of stories from different authors?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about some of the authors that were involved in the project.
So there are 10 authors altogether. And so each one wrote their own story. And then also we have the last story in the book is a collaboration between 4 authors. And so that one, it was, I wanted a nice number. I wanted 10 stories, and we only had 9. And so I put it out to the group, and they were like, well, why don't we write a shared story? And it was definitely, it was a lesson in what not to do in the beginning. Because we didn't really, I just said, here's the location, here's kind of the loose plot, let's get started.
Just go.
Yeah, and then people were like, wait, what? There were a lot of questions, and some people wrote things like, I'm a foodie, and one of the authors wrote that, all the characters are on an island for a memorial, and they ate bean soup, and I'm like, no. No one's eating bean soup on this story. So I invented a caterer who comes and makes real food, right? So we kind of figured out the flow after a while, so it worked. And yeah, so the stories are like everywhere from one character buys a hotel in the ski area at Poconos in Pennsylvania, right? She's working on the hotel by herself, and just all kinds of different locations and fun stories.
My goodness. So I have seen you create just stuff out of thin air like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're working with there's different individuals involved. Did this take longer? Was it more of a effort to finalize this than the other projects you've done before?
Well, it's definitely more work when you're working with other authors because you've got to collect information. You've got to get you got to be on them, I need your story by this date. And then I read all the stories, made sure they were completely edited. And then I also kind of put them in an order that felt good. They kind of work one story after another kind of works in a way.
Yeah.
And it definitely takes more work, but I feel like this was so worth it. It was such a fun project.
Well, let's talk about this project, which I honestly thought was cool. So tell us about the Writer's Planner.
Okay, so the Writer's Planner, for the last 2 years, I've been wanting my own planner that I could focus on writing, because this year I want to publish a book every 2 months. I know, it's insane.
Every 2 Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta have a goal.
That's a goal. That's a goal. And so I wanted a planner to go with that idea. And so for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out how to make it happen. And so this is a culmination. It's weekly. You can see a week on a page. It's not for anyone who's going to plan day by day, hour by hour of their life. This is a planner that if you put down your appointments and you put down your goals, so it's got goal setting, it's got resources for writers, and then the planner itself is you put in your goals for writing, marketing, publishing. Yeah, so
That's a brilliant idea. So
thank you.
before we run out of time, just
Yeah.
tell us what you have coming with this whole goal you have. Do you have an idea of what you'll be doing here in the future?
Yes, my next story, I don't have a title for it yet, but a young woman, she's found out, she's a former thief. She's found out that the world is in danger, and she sends messages out to her former lovers to see who will help her.
Oh my goodness. I just love you. Just bring this up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we are looking forward to that. Congratulations on the book and the planner. And yes, thank you for coming out tonight and talking with us.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to what you do in 2024.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
This is your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. Prepare for a magical night where you're swept away by soulful melodies and treated to exceptionally award-winning wines. Oscar Butler delivers the magic with his performance on January 13th at Noisy Water Winery in Red River. The Long Bellow Trio can cast a spell with their fine-spun songs of hard truth and unexpected beauty in hypnotic three-part harmony. The Long Bellow Trio performs on January 16th at the Lindick Performing Arts Center in Santa Fe. Luis Angel, better known as El Flaco, has one of the most distinctive voices in banda music and a charisma that has won the hearts of the public for 2 decades. Catch him live at the Inn of the Mountain Gods on January 27th in Ruidoso. This has been your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com. Thank you for joining us for another episode of New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know. Join us next month as we talk about topics for our February issue, which is our love issue. Have a good night. For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.